Good afternoon, everyone. Today I wanted to take a little bit of time to discuss 5 of the biggest misconceptions that I've come across with regards to real estate. Now, to start things off, number one, and this is coming from all walks of life, but the number one misconception that I've come across is that most people, whether they're clients, people looking to become real estate agents or realtors, or just people in general, have the misconception of thinking that realtors get to work whenever they want, from wherever they want, and get to set their own hours and schedules. And while that can be true, and there is some truth to that, that isn't really the case. For the most part, what ends up happening is that realtors or real estate agents actually work around their clients' needs and schedules, or a combination of their own schedules and their clients' schedules, and finding something that works. Just to give an example, I'm currently working with some buyers who are based in Italy, and because of the time difference, that means very early mornings. And again, just due to the simple fact that they're on such a different time zone, I end up working around their schedule, which means very early mornings. But that's just an example of how that is a misconception that I've come across with regards to realtors having the ability to work from where they want, whenever they want, under their own hours. Simply isn't true. And moving on to number 2, and that is that owning a home is almost always going to be better than renting. Coming from me as a realtor, that just simply isn't true. There are certain circumstances and situations where renting might actually be more beneficial, or just simply a better option. And very quickly, off the top of my head, an example I can give is just time frame. Generally speaking, under normal market conditions, the amount of time it's going to take for you to break even on the purchase and the selling of a home is generally going to take more than 2 years. But again, that's under normal market conditions. So there are unique circumstances depending on the time frame and current market conditions where it may not be your best option to actually purchase a home. But again, that's just another misconception I've come across, where it's almost always better to own the home you live in, and that just simply isn't true. There are certain times and situations where actually renting may prove to be more beneficial. Now, moving on to number 3, and this one is something I hear a lot now, is that you cannot find any good deals on the MLS. And again, I can't stress enough, guys, the source of a deal is not what actually dictates whether it's a deal or not. It's the deal itself, based on many different factors, including one that's big and often overlooked, is that what a good deal is subjective. Value is subjective. Again, what's a good deal to some person may not be a good deal to another, and vice versa. But generally speaking, what makes a deal a good deal is simply the factors and the individual factors of the deal, not where the deal came from. So that's another misconception, that you just cannot find good deals on the MLS and that they all have to be off market or from some other source or venue, and that just simply isn't the case. Now, moving on to number 4, and that is kind of in the same line that as the previous one, but this is that more units or more doors is just simply better, or going to equate to more cash flow or more profit or what have you. And although I can say yes, if your due diligence is applied to both properties evenly, if we took 2 examples of properties, generally speaking, that may be true, that more units or more doors is going to equate to more, or it simply is just easier to rent out because based on a variety of factors, including just vacancy. But again, that is another misconception, that more doors or more units is just simply going to be a better deal or more profitable than less doors or less units. And again, that is taken on a property by property basis, and running your numbers correctly and making sure that in fact it is a good investment, and not just because there's more doors means automatically it's going to be a better or more profitable investment. Now, number 5, and last but certainly not least, is timing the market or waiting for the market to crash before getting into real estate, whether it is buying, selling, or investing. You cannot time the market. You can get lucky, and it's very hard to do, and I'm not saying you can't, but for the most part, it's been proven time and again that time in the market is almost always certainly going to outperform trying to time the market. Simply trying to time the market is not a good approach, and I just can't stress that enough. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to take a little bit of time to discuss 5 of the biggest misconceptions that I've come across in the real estate industry. But as always, life is good. Always make it count.